Welcome to Warrior of Honor channel. The last few days have been rich in various events. Watch this video until the end to keep abreast of the latest news in Ukraine. The main news is another rocket attack by Russian troops on Ukraine. On January 14, Russian invaders hit a high-rise building in the Dnipro. An enemy missile destroyed a whole entrance. People were under the rubble. At around 4:00 p.m., Deputy Head of the President's Office Kirilo Timoshenko reported the terrible news from Dnipro. A Russian missile had hit an apartment building. Subsequently, the head of the city reported that the enemy had fired a Ki-22 supersonic cruise missile from a Tu-22 cubic meters long-range bomber. As of 2040, 5 people were killed, including 1 child, 35 people were rescued, including 6 children, 64 residents were injured, including 14 children. An hour later, the number of victims increased again. The death toll from a Russian missile strike on a tower block in Dnipro has risen to 20. The attack on the apartment block in the south-central Ukrainian city destroyed dozens of flats, leaving between 100 and 200 people homeless. Earlier reports placed the death toll at least 14. Ukrainian rescuers in Dnipro were also working through the night to free a woman trapped under the rubble of a destroyed house after hearing her voice, the state emergency service said. A Russian missile strike on an apartment block in the south-central Ukrainian city destroyed dozens of flats, leaving between 100 and 200 people homeless, said the Ukrainian presidency's deputy head, Kirilo Timoshenko, Agence France Presse reported. About 1,700 were without electricity and heating, he said. At least 14 people were killed in Russia's attack on Dnipro on Saturday, Ukrainian authorities said. On Sunday, the Dnipropetrovsk governor, Valentin Reznichenko, said on the messaging app Telegram that at least 20 had died and the fate of 40 people remains unknown. The office of the president also reacted to the missile hit. Its leader, Andriy Yermak, also called the Russians terrorists and assured them that they should be punished. In turn, his advisor, Mikhail Podolyak, said that Russia deliberately, defiantly, and publicly attacked civilian objects in Ukraine. Therefore, our state has no other choice other than to win. To do this, you should not pay attention to any words of the Russians. After all, as people say, in order to understand whether a Russian is lying, you need to see if he opens his mouth. And under their lies, they deliberately hit an apartment building with a rocket to scream with joy. Don't feed killers. Don't encourage the rascals. Don't make them want to kill more. It is better to keep silent once again and publicly demonstrate an absolute lack of understanding of the nature of Russian evil. You only make it worse. You're dragging out the war. Encourage the next kills. Once again, the killers must be punished, otherwise it will never end, Mikhail Podolyak emphasized. U.S. Ambassador to Ukraine Bridget Brink has already reacted to the missile attack. She noted that Russia continues to attack the cities and population of Ukraine. Therefore, the United States is giving priority support to Ukrainian air defense experts and continues to work together to provide everything our state needs on the battlefield and across the country. A Russian rocket hit the village of Kopeliv in the western reaches of Kyiv region on Saturday, leaving a large blast crater and damaging nearby homes. Kopeliv is 20 miles outside the city of Kyiv, which was also hit by Russian rockets. Kyiv's mayor, Vitaly Klitschko, said explosions occurred in Kyiv's Dniprovsky district. The head of Ukraine's presidential administration, Kirilo Timoshenko, said the strikes were targeting critical infrastructure. Sirens could be heard throughout the morning in the city, and after that there was few explosions. Another big news was the official confirmation of the transfer of tanks to Ukraine. Britain plans to send tanks to Ukraine, Rishi Sunak has confirmed, in a move that will heap further pressure on Germany to approve a wider delivery of the vehicles this week. In a call with Ukraine's President Volodymyr Zelensky, the Prime Minister confirmed for the first time that it was Britain's intention to provide a small number of Challenger 2 tanks to help push back Russia's invasion. It would make Britain the first Western power to supply the Ukrainians with main battle tanks, which would be used to help train Ukrainian troops. The move comes as Germany faces international pressure to allow the delivery of German-made Leopard 2 tanks as part of a plan by Western forces to increase military aid to Ukraine. It would represent a major upgrade for Ukrainian forces. Finland and Poland have said that they could send Leopard tanks to Ukraine. However, the move requires Berlin's approval, and diplomacy on the topic is set to take place over the coming days. The German government has said it has not yet received a formal request to re-export the tanks. The push is taking place so that Ukrainian soldiers have sufficient training before a possible offensive in the spring. The U.S. Defense Secretary Lloyd Austin will meet his German counterpart Christine Lambrecht in Berlin at the end of the week. After a phone call between Sunak and Zelensky, a spokesperson for the Prime Minister said the offer of Challenger 2 tanks and additional artillery systems was a sign of the UK's ambition to intensify our support to Ukraine. Thanks for watching. Subscribe and stay up to date with news around Ukraine.